Okay, so this is our second little video in the module on consistent and committed daily action. That is how you're going to get to your goal, is using that law of attraction, which includes a whole lot of action. Faith without works is dead. You must take action. So we were talking about the pyramid of how you're going to get from where you are, your daily actions, all the way up to your goal. Now, a couple things I want to mention is you want to make sure that the goal is actually something that's important to you. If it's a goal or a dream that you're excited or you're passionate about, you're going to be much more likely to achieve it. You're going to be more motivated to do your daily actions, and you're going to be committed to enduring to the end and persevering past those roadblocks. If it's something you're not really excited about or not really invested in, then you might want to choose a different goal, because it's really important that you are committed to that daily action and you are going to do whatever it takes to get to that goal. So if it's something you're just kind of half-hearted about, probably you're not going to. So ask yourself, is this something that I am willing to sacrifice for? Is this goal something that's important to me? So we're going to go over SMART goal setting. So I spent a good decade in health education. I have a bachelor's degree in that. And one of the things they taught us in school was to help people set SMART goals. So I like this. I use a little variation of what we were taught. If you wanted to have a SMART goal, when you're setting those goals, make sure, and I'm sure you've heard of this before, it's nothing like new or crazy, but I have a little bit of a spin on it that's a little different. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that that goal is specific and significant to you. It's got to be something that your heart and soul is in, something that you're excited about and passionate about, or you're not going to be very motivated to move towards it. And then, as we discussed in the module on clarity of intention, you need to be very clear and specific on what is that outcome. So you don't want to say things like, oh, I want to get healthier. You want to say, I want to be exercising daily, or I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months, or I want to stop eating sugar, or I want to only eat sugar once a week, or maybe those baby steps. Make sure that it's specific and it's significant to you. So this is a meaningful goal that you actually want to achieve. And then the second step of this is making sure for me, the M is magical and measurable. So you want to make sure that you're excited about it. Again, that's what I'm saying. Are you passionate about it? Does this goal drive you? Does it inspire you to want to jump out of bed in the morning? Is it something that's moving you forward? Is it something that's a magical goal or dream for you? If you're doing something because you feel like you should, or you have to, or you need to, you're not going to feel very inspired, and it doesn't have that magical feel of something that you're passionate and excited about working towards. So it's going to be hard to drag your body along and go through the motions if that goal doesn't excite you. So make sure it's magical and that it's measurable, so you can track whether you've done it or not. So when we were talking about that pyramid for breaking down your goal and creating that map to get to it, for example, did you write that chapter in your book? That's something that's easy to measure. Did you spend 2 hours a day writing? Did you spend an hour at the gym? Did you do your yoga or your meditation every day? Did you do that daily routine that we're going to talk about on the routines video? Did you or didn't you? It's an easy yes or no. So it's measurable. It can't just be like, oh, I want to do something for my health. It has to be trackable. Did I eat sugar today? Did I not eat sugar today? So it's simple and measurable. Okay. And then the third letter in this acronym so it's basically what we talked about yesterday in the last video, making sure that you have that action step mapped out. You've got that pyramid guiding you, those action steps, and I want to make sure you're accountable. You have some sort of accountability, whether that's you're working with me as your coach and you're reporting to me, yes, I've done my daily actions, or no, I didn't, or I've done my weekly actions, or no, I didn't, or if you just have a buddy or a friend that's committed to go to the gym with you and keep you accountable and make sure that you're doing that. You need to make sure that you're accountable to something or somebody to make sure that you are going to have that follow through with your goal and your dream. So that is important. And then also, This is one that's very specific to me. I've never heard this version given in any sort of SMART goal setting, but because I teach you about the brain and I'm helping you guys to understand how to rewire your brain and create something different, this is key. We want that new goal or dream to become your reality, so that's what we're working to create. So this R for me is reality, and how we get it into your reality is by rewiring your brain for a new reality. So we're going to be doing those daily steps, those daily visualizations, those daily routines we'll talk about, and doing the work to get rid of the stuff that's standing in your way. So we'll talk about that too in the next module, where we'll be talking about getting rid of your false beliefs and the things that are stopping you, those old brain neural networks that are not helping support your goal and dream. This is key, rewiring your brain to create this into your reality. So this R is very important, and it's very different than any other version of SMART goal setting I'm sure you've ever heard. So the last one on here, do a different color. So some people call this time-based. I don't like that one because I feel like we have to create a very real vision in our head about what it is we want to create. We don't necessarily always get to choose the timing of that, though. There's outside forces in our universe. There's God is what I believe, and there's spiritual forces and orchestrations in our lives that are not always on our timetable. So we can create that vision of the goal and dream into our mental space to bring that into our physical reality. We don't always get to predict exactly when that happens by. So yes, it's important to have timelines for time-based goals. For example, this course, we're working on a goal to achieve in 3 months. So that's a time-based goal or a timeline. So we have a timeline. We don't always get to say, I want to meet the man of my dreams by October of this year. We don't always get to make that be our actions or our timeline, but we can always take that action step. I will make sure that I put in the efforts to find good dating companions, whether that's online dating, whether that's becoming the person that I need to be to attract that companion that I want, whether it's finding clarity on what kind of companion I want. So if that's your goal, is to create a relationship, those are some things that you have control over. What are you doing to improve yourself, and what are you doing to put yourself out there? You don't always get to choose when that person shows up, though. So that's an example of when I feel like having a time-based goal isn't helpful, because then you don't reach that goal by the deadline and you feel like you failed. Sometimes we have to change our goals. I had a goal to get my second book out, my Passion Quest book, by my 33rd birthday. Then my grandma had a serious health problem, and my mom needed to move, and all sorts of things that I didn't expect that I need to help with. And being there for those people was more important to me than getting that book exactly by my birthday. So I had to adjust that timeline. I still have those action steps on working towards that goal and making sure I'm moving towards it. Sometimes the timeline has to adjust, though. So that's why I don't feel like they all have to have a date on them. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I just want to make sure you have some sort of way to track it. I'll move that light again. So we have some sort of tracking for it, and you are working on a timeline. For example, you want to get your book published in this 3 months, or you want to get it written in the 3 months, maybe published in a year if you're on a little slower timeline. Maybe you don't have as much time to invest in it. So you might have an end goal of that overall timeline of what you'd like, and maybe that's going to have to change just a little bit. So just make sure that you're tracking your progress and that you are taking action every day to move towards it, and you are keeping your commitments and you're being accountable for those commitments. If something comes up and you have to change, then just reset your goal to something that works with that new thing that you were not expecting. So if you have a health crisis and you end up in the hospital, you might not be able to run every day for an hour. That's just not going to be possible for you at that moment. So you can adjust that. Okay, so just make sure you have a tracking system, which we're going to talk about a little more on the next video when I talk about rituals and routines and making sure that you have a daily ritual and routine to move towards your goal and dream. So that is all I have for this little video. Now what I want you to do is go through that pyramid you've hopefully been working on and make sure that those goals that you've set in it are specific and significant to you. Make sure that they are magical goals that you are excited about creating into your reality, and that they are measurable, that you have some way to track how your progress is moving towards them. Make sure that you have those action steps laid out in that pyramid of your daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and 3-month goals and action steps. And then we're going to work on rewiring your brain to create that into your new reality. And I encourage you to set up some sort of tracking system that we will be discussing, as I said, on the next video too. So, and then have a timeline. When is it you would like to have that stuff done by? It's not maybe set in stone, yet you know that you want to get a chapter a week. So that's what I mean. That would be the timeline. Or you want to exercise 5 times this week. So your timeline is between Monday and Sunday, you're going to exercise five times. Or you want to sign up for the online dating site and maybe get a matchmaker or someone to help you find good candidates. Or maybe you just want to focus on yourself to improve yourself, and you're going to spend 1 or 2 hours a day in yoga, meditation, writing, those kind of activities. So those are the things we'll be talking about in the rituals and routine in the next video. Okay, love your life, live with passion, break your goals down to make sure they're SMART goals.